JBN, we keep you informed. Man's body found along beach in St. Anne. The St. Anne police are probing the death of a man whose body was found along a beach in the parish capital of St. Anne's Bay on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as Alvin Hamilton, alias Horseman or Bulgy, of Charlestown and Windsor Heights in the parish. It is believed that he drowned, but investigators are waiting on a post-mortem examination report to confirm the official cause of death. It was reported that about 7 a.m., residents saw Hamilton's body washed up on the beach and summoned the police. On the arrival of the police, the body was taken to the hospital where death was confirmed. It has been reported that Hamilton was seen acting strangely in the area earlier on Saturday morning. Loaded gun found in Elsha. The Portmore police say a firearm and several rounds of ammunition were found on Ocean Terrace in Elsha, St. Catherine yesterday. Reports are that about 1 a.m., a team was on special operations in the area when a premises was searched and one Springfield XD .45 pistol containing 8.45 rounds of ammunition found behind a box on a veranda. No one was arrested in connection with the find. No arrest for the $36 million ganja seizure in Boscobel, St. Mary. Over 7,000 pounds of compressed ganja was seized by the St. Mary police in Boscobel Friday night. The lawmen say they recovered 289 plastic bags loaded with packages of compressed ganja, which they say appeared ready for export. The police have estimated the street value for the herb at $36 million. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure of the large quantity of ganja. Superintendent in charge of the St. Mary Police Division, Bobette Morgan Simpson, told reporters Friday night that intelligence led the police to the scene. The police, acting on intelligence, went to the Boscobel area and conducted operational activities. During the process, a storage area was found and a large quantity of compressed ganja that appeared to be ready for export was recovered in the process, Morgan Simpson said. The senior police officer was unable to confirm if the seizure was connected to the drugs for guns trade. The ganja was removed to Area 2 Police Headquarters in Tower Isle, St. Mary, where it was checked before being sent to Kingston. Man flees after spouse finds bullets in knapsack, gives them to cops. A total of 8 illegal firearms and 89 assorted rounds of ammunition were seized in separate incidents across the island last week, according to the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. 11 persons in total were arrested in connection with the illegal gun seizures. This resulted in 4 persons being arrested in connection with the seizure of 4 of the illegal firearms and approximately 54 rounds of ammunition in Westmoreland. 1 person arrested in connection with the seizure of 1 firearm in Trelawney. 6 persons arrested in connection with the seizure of 2 firearms and 32 assorted rounds of ammunition in St. James. The first seizure in Westmoreland occurred on Thursday when the police were alerted about a dispute at the Negril Transportation Center between 2 men over a gun. The area was searched and 1 Parabellum 9mm pistol with 5 9mm rounds of ammunition was found beneath a house. 1 man was subsequently arrested in connection with the find. About 8 p.m. also on Thursday in Beeston Spring, residents relieved one of 2 men who were involved in an altercation over a .38 revolver containing 3.38 cartridges. The man was injured in the incident and was taken to the hospital where he was admitted under police guard. The firearm was handed over to the police. On Friday about 10 p.m., a man was arrested in Whitehall in connection with a Taurus semi-automatic pistol affixed with a magazine containing 10 9mm rounds of ammunition. The weapon was found beneath the driver's seat of the vehicle he was driving. On Saturday, during an operation on Dawes Lane in Sheffield District, an unoccupied shop was searched and a black sock containing 1 Glock magazine and 36.40 rounds of ammunition were found. 2 persons were arrested in connection with the find. Over in Trelawney, 1 firearm was seized on Wednesday about 11:25 p.m. and a 29-year-old man arrested and charged after he was seen removing a Taurus 9mm pistol from his waistband. He was subsequently arrested and charged. In St. James, a woman handed over 9.45 cartridges to the Anchovy police that she reportedly found inside her spouse's knapsack. The police are still searching for the suspect. On Thursday about 6:30 a.m., a joint police-military team conducted operations in Coconut Loop, Catherine Hall, St. James, where a house was searched, and 2 firearms, 1 Smith & Wesson, a 9mm pistol, and 23 rounds of ammunition were found. An extra magazine and spring were also found. 6 persons were taken into custody as investigations into this seizure continue. And the St. Andrew South Police reaped similar success during a pre-dawn operation on Saturday, which resulted in the seizure of 1 Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun and 3 cartridges. No one was arrested for this seizure. Politician freed of gun-related charges. 5 years after being slapped with gun-related offences, former councillor of the Boscobel Division in St. Mary, Fitzroy Wilson, was freed of all charges in the High Court last week. Wilson was charged with illegal possession of a firearm and assault at common law, following a ruling from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, in 2014. At the end of his trial, the politician was freed when the trial judge, after reviewing the evidence, ruled that conflicting statements from the male complainant could not be relied upon. Wilson was represented at the trial by attorney Oswest Senior Smith. It was alleged that in March of 2013, Wilson got into an altercation with a man at a car wash in St. Mary, during which he allegedly pulled his licensed firearm, pointed it at the man, and threatened to shoot him. The matter was reported to the police, and following an investigation, a file was submitted to the DPP for a ruling on the matter. On August 13, 2014, it was ruled that Wilson be charged with illegal possession of a firearm and assault at common law. Wilson, a People's National Party PNP candidate, defeated the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP Michael Bell Navis with 2,085 votes to win the Boscobel Division in the 2012 local government elections. However, Wilson was defeated in the 2016 local elections by the JLP's Leroy Sewell, who polled 1,814 votes to claim the Boscobel Division. Wilson received 1,611 votes, or 46.4% of the total number of votes. Hotel staff fed up with sexual harassment by unruly guests. Staff members at some of Jamaica's top hotels are reportedly being sexually harassed by guests, while their managers turned a blind eye or threatened them with dismissal if they speak out. It is such behavioral concerns and victimization within the tourism sector that Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said the government hopes to tackle with the release of a tourism guidebook later this year. Last week, a group of hotel workers who asked not to be identified shared instances of sexual abuse by guests at hotels in Jamaica are seldom discussed or reported for fear of embarrassing the guests and the hotel or for fear of victimization. Most of the times we'll say things to our guests so as to not offend them or make them feel bad, but I never expected the man to think that I liked him, explained one young woman, recounting a traumatic incident that followed a compliment from a flirtatious elderly guest recently. He just went off. He backed me up in the lobby with everybody, manager, staff, even his wife looking, and he just grabbed me and started kissing me. Not one of them helped or said anything. Everybody stood there and laughed like nothing was wrong. Noting that the incident has changed her desires for a career in the hotel sector, she continued, I was told to tell the Human Resource Department, but that would have been a waste of time. I also didn't report it to the police either, because what are they going to do? It would be my word against his, and the hotel is not going to allow me to make a report like that to the police against a guest. She said it happened within the first month on the job, and in the weeks that followed, she realized that many more female workers were being verbally and physically harassed, and that some even turned it into opportunities to solicit money from the visitors to the island. Minister Bartlett said that the ongoing problem has led to a review of the sector, resulting in a manual being compiled on tourism ethics and the behavior of workers towards guests and guests towards workers. I think there are some gaps in the relationships, behavior patterns, and also in terms of sanctions, and this is one of the reasons why we are doing the manual. We have to act with a little more haste to build out the areas of behaviors that are unacceptable and the sanctions relating to it for both workers and guests, said the tourism minister. The manual, he said, should be ready by mid-December, and it will serve to amplify moral and ethical practices, as well as legal and human rights, which should have already been implemented by the hotels. The perpetrators, the hotel workers said, were mainly older men from other countries who not only hissed sexual and racial slurs at women, but in some instances grope, hug, kiss, or gyrate on unsuspecting visitors. The managers, for the most part, turned a blind eye. If there are any good managers in the industry, they are literally a dime a dozen or none at all. In my case, all of it happened in such a quick space of time, and I had to leave that establishment within 2 months, said a worker of a Ochirai St. Anne resort. Another female worker said some of her colleagues at her Montego Bay hotel were so fearful that they always inform other staff members of their whereabouts and avoid them in the dark and unit spaces around the property. An effeminate staff member shared that he spent hours in his room crying after repeatedly being called upon by managers to attend to any guest they perceived as homosexual at his hotel in St. Anne. Because of his speech and deportment, the homosexual guests would openly touch and grope his buttocks, call him derogatory names, and even call the front desk asking for him specifically. The managers would not let any regular staff member deal with him. They would always send me, even though they knew that I was being abused. It was very uncomfortable, and they all giggled at it as if it was something funny, explained the staff member, adding that there's next to little workers can do if they want to keep their jobs. Another male entertainer at a hotel in Negril, Westmoreland, related an incident where an elderly visitor he identified as Tom would walk around the property groping staff and other guests. He touched one of the entertainment staff and some other persons, and the hotel finally told him that they could not accommodate him anymore and that he should find another hotel, said the staff member. Last year, United States media released bombshell allegations that several tourists were being sexually abused while on vacation in Jamaica. Since then, President of the Jamaica Hotel and the Tourist Associations, Omar Robinson, and Minister Bartlett have announced increased measures to prevent such occurrences. After months of inquiry by the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Criminal Abuse could not give an update on investigations into the allegations. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.